What's up, guys? I'm your host, Adam Gusky, and you're listening to the Mad Awareness Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Today we got a different kind of podcast that I'm excited to get out there. It's not an interview. I'm going to keep doing a ton of interviews, don't worry. But we got John Broughton back on the podcast, and we're talking about the Flow Wrestling event over the weekend. Super excited to see that kind of stuff happen in wrestling, and we're excited to see where it can go. But we start off by John sharing a little bit of exciting news with his personal life. He's going to be moving and working for a wrestling company. You'll find out about that in a couple minutes. We also talk about a challenge we're doing that has helped us stay physically fit during quarantine and just grow as people. It's been super helpful to both of us. And then we get into the Flow event. We talk about what we liked, what we disliked, and some hypotheticals that we'd like to see on future events. So with no further ado, let's get it rolling. All right, we're back with John Broughton. How are we doing today, man?
I'm awesome, Doug. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. How was your weekend? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it was awesome. I liked the fact that Bellator is back. We got Flow going. We got UFC fights. I was so happy, one after the other. The Flow card was interesting. I know we're going to talk about it on this podcast, but I liked it for the first one that they did, and the UFC fights didn't disappoint, and the Bellator fights were awesome too. So I had a good weekend.
Nice. And you train at Rufus Sport in Milwaukee, and you had some guys there fighting in Bellator on Friday night?
Yeah, so I go there and do jujitsu, wrestling practice every once in a while. It's a lot of fun. And so we had Sergio Pettis was the main event. He won. And we had Rafian Stotts also on the card, and he won. And Rafian had this thing in the corner where he started going, I dominate, excite, and finish fights. And then he walked out and rear naked choked the guy. It was great. And
That's
then
badass.
yeah, and Sergio just looked great. Outstruck his guy, landed some clean shots. The entire fight was pretty much in command. The entire fight, and just clean, technical, picked the guy apart, which was also beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't get to watch the fights, but I heard Pico also looked like a beast.
Oh, Pico looked great. Yeah, um, I think he wrestled a dude and choked him out. Right?
Yeah, I think so. It looked pretty.
Yeah,
Saw a clip of it, and it looked pretty brutal.
yeah. His thing is he's been using his striking, which is good, right? But he's been knocked out a couple times. It's like he's gotten back to being more of a wrestler, I think, which is good. You know, if he's got a wrestling advantage, go use it, right?
Yeah,
And that's when you look at like MMA guys, you know, and their longevity. I think wrestling's a big part of that, not just taking as many strikes to the head and getting into those wars if you don't have to.
yeah. I could see how that could pay off. Um, s- so, for those listening, John is wearing a Scrap Life shirt, and it seems like he got some pretty exciting news coming up. Do you want to spill the tea?
Yeah. So I'll make a post probably tomorrow for this podcast. Oh, who knows? So I just added Scrap Life as a client, um, and I'm really, really excited. They had some bad publicity recently. Somebody involved with the company made a post that was not politically correct. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
And so he was removed from the company, and they said, "Well, we got to bring somebody else in to run social media." And Bo Nickel and David Taylor recommended me, and I'm freaking honored because those guys are, studs.
It's
Need
a
no
good
introduction, right?
recommendation.
That's was the consensus. They're like, well, if Bo and David, say you're good, you must be all right. So I'm really excited. I'm moving to State College because this is gonna be really as a high demand client. So I'm gonna be spending a lot of time doing a lot of things, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be most of my time doing scrap life stuff. So I'm really excited for that, and it's gonna be working with all the scrap life athletes. So Bo, David, Gilman, Nolf, and others. So I'm really excited.
That's really awesome. That's exciting news.
Thanks, man. I'm
So,
sad to leave Wisconsin though.
yeah. Dude, Wisconsin is the best state in the world.
It is. It's pretty great.
It's
It's
better
pretty
than
great.
Missouri or wherever you're from,
Ah,
right?
right. As soon as I made the decision, though, as soon as I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave Wisconsin. I'm gonna go to Pennsylvania. The next like 4 days, it was like all graduation goggles. Like everything about Wisconsin that I didn't even know I loved was like so. Oh my god, I'm not gonna be able to go to Rufus Sport anymore. I'm not gonna be able to see my friends anymore. I'm not gonna. It's like every little thing was like, oh yeah, I don't want to leave. But it's gonna be good, but it's gonna be weird and it's gonna be hard to leave Wisconsin.
So you worked with Ben Askren a lot, doing a lot of videography for him. What did he say when you told him this news?
Uh, so he tried to stay impartial. First of all, I'm gonna miss Ben a lot. Ben is like the coolest guy ever and awesome, awesome to work for. And yeah, I'm gonna miss him a lot. But so he tried to stay impartial because he works with Rudis, right? But he was also like, oh, this is a good opportunity. So he was like weirdly like on one side of the fence and then the other side of the fence. But he gave me some good advice. He gave me as far as like how to deal with them as a client. He gave me good advice, and then he also gave me some good life advice, and was kind of like go see the world and go live in a couple different places. But he was also like, let me see if Rudis will match the offer. I was like, no, Ben. um, but yeah, no, I mean, he gave me good advice and he took it well. I think that so I'm really going to try and fly back to Wisconsin as often as possible, and so hopefully continue to film for Ben and Rufus Sport and Whitewater when I come back into town.
That's awesome.
Not lacrosse.
Okay, that's not awesome. Unreal. Anyways, before we get into the matches, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that is the 75 hard challenge.
Yeah, dude. How's it going?
Dude, I'm on day 9 after restarting. First, let's just explain what the challenge is. It's a so you got to do two 45-minute workouts every day. This is something you do. You do these like 5 tasks every day for 75 days straight. So two 45-minute workouts. Drink 1 gallon of water. Um, no alcohol. Read 10 pages of like a self-help type book. I don't know what to call it.
Self-development book.
Self-development book. That is a lot
Yeah, it's
better.
like nonfiction business books, and that's what I've usually been going through is good business books.
Yeah. And then you can pick a diet of pretty much your choice, but you have to stick to it strictly. So like
No
no
cheat
cheat
meals.
meals. Yeah.
Hmm.
No handful of chocolate chips in the middle of the day.
Unless that's your diet.
So that's true.
I can't imagine a diet like that.
I mean, it'd be awesome. But anyways,
The heavyweight.
Russ, a lot of those guys that probably took handfuls of chocolate chips for their matches.
Oh yeah.
But so I started this a while ago. I got to day 37, and oh, one thing I didn't mention is you have to take a progress pic every day. And I was on day 37, and I
And
realized
no
I'm
alcohol.
and no alcohol, yes. And I realized I didn't take a progress pic, so I had to restart. So I restarted a while ago. Well, and I'm on day 9. But how was your journey, Ben?
Dude, it's good. I think the weird thing about this program that I didn't see coming was that it's like it look it seems like okay, this is a mental toughness and a fitness challenge, right? But the more that I get into it, the more it's like, oh, so many good things are happening, and it's almost like I don't know how deeply you believe in this, but like the law of attraction is I'm a big believer in it, and basically this in my head, this kind of like it seems like it jumpstarts that. It seems like okay, you're doing all this work and putting all this good energy into your own life and good structure into your own life. That as soon as like some task comes along, you're able to just rock it. You're able to just be on top of your game. And on top of that, the two workouts, one has to be outside. I'm spending 45 minutes a day every morning outside exercising. It's like, so I'm getting plenty of sunlight and being outside, and then I'm getting, the dopamine rush from working out. So it's like you're in a good mood the rest of the day. And it's like 2 workouts will take a lot of energy out of you, but if you're eating good food and a lot and maybe some caffeine in there, then you can keep your energy high and you feel really, really good.
Yeah. Would you so like I've heard of the law of attraction. I think I kind of understand it, but I'm thinking about reading the book, so I'm waiting to look up the definition before I do that. But would you explain like quickly just like what that is?
Well, so on a broad scale, if you put, there are a couple different ways to interpret it. If you put like good out into the world, good finds its way back. If you visualize um, good things and success, and you visualize yourself like winning state, that's a common one for wrestlers, winning nationals, right? Um, you visualize it enough times, your subconscious brain, and this is going into Think and Grow Rich, that book, but like your subconscious brain will work into your conscious brain, and basically good things will happen in your life, and good things will come your way. So that's
Okay.
the general gist of it, as far as I understand it, anyway.
Fair enough. The Cliff Notes version.
The cliff
Um,
yeah.
so like what I guess like why are you doing this?
So I've been listening to the guy who started this program. He has a podcast. I'm a big fan of his. It helped me a lot with general business knowledge, and then it helped me a lot with just kind of like mentality, holding yourself to a high standard, um, and not comparing yourself to other people, but comparing yourself to your full potential. And even when people are like, "Oh, you're good," like, no, you don't need to, go the extra sprint. You're not really ever competing against the people around you. You're not really ever competing against anybody but yourself. So it's kind of like a shift. It's helped me shift my mindset in a really positive way. And so when he came out with the program, I was like, I'm doing that.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's definitely I started listening to it when we did our first podcast together. I started from the beginning. I just got to like episode 100, but it's just like crazy how far I've come and like what I want to do since I
Hmm.
started listening to it. So,
He's got good stuff. Yeah, at first you said he's kind of cringy. Like, I understand
yeah.
what you mean. Like, coming from the outside and hearing him for the first time, like, he's really intense. He's really like I'm the only one telling you the real shit, And it's
Yeah.
like, when you break it down, it's like, yeah, he really is. Like, he gives you great advice. And you know what he's done is, like, a lot of people, he's opened my eyes to a lot of people like Gary Vee, and Gary Vee gives great business advice. Gary Vee is kind of like a social media guy. Like, he doesn't really give great business advice, in my opinion. And he's kind of just a way worse version of Andy. And they're not even really related, but like, um, he just made me think like, okay, like, some of what he's teaching is good, but Andy's information is way better. And this is for anybody that wants to know. Andy Frisella's podcast, MF CEO, and now it's called Real AF, because I feel like he feels like he's talked about the business side enough, and now he wants to get into more mentality and life. So he changed the name of the podcast to kind of cut it off. But dude, it's been huge in my life, and just priming myself mentally has been really important.
Yeah. That and the challenge, man, it's tough. It's monotonous sometimes, but then you just kind of have to learn to re-love it and it helps you, I feel like, grit through things in life because everything's like that. So,
Yeah. Well, it's weird. So I'm doing this with my roommate, and I started it at the beginning of quarantine, and my I was still in college at the time, right? And so it was like the last semester of college. We're all quarantined, we're all bored, and my friends are like, "Are you really not going to drink with us?" So that's how I failed the first time. But the second time we're out of college, we're living in Milwaukee, and my roommate is just like, "Hey, I'm starting 75 hard today," and I'm like, "Oh," and I was like, "All right, I'm doing 75 hard too." So I was kind of
yeah.
like, he said he was going to do it, and I was like, I failed the first time. I should jump back in and do it. And so we've been going strong, and we've had these moments where, like, we'll be like, should we just keep going? We really like this. It's
Yeah.
the weirdest thing because it's like, oh, it seems like it's hard and like monotonous, like you said, but at some point you're like, oh, this is like really nice. Like working out twice a day is like feels really good. Being on top of everything, reading 10 pages of a book every day, it's like, I like this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like I started it and then failed after like 30 something days, and I didn't like drink or uh lose my diet, but I stopped doing the reading and I already felt just like I don't know, I just didn't feel as accomplished at the end of the
Mm,
day. But I'm glad I'm back on it. So I'd recommend that to anyone listening. If you need a little spark, don't even think about it, just start it, and you'll be happy down the road.
absolutely.
So, but yeah, let's get into the matches. Get
Oh
into the
yeah.
Flow Wrestling card. So I guess like first, what are your overall thoughts on the event?
Um, so I'd say they did a good job. We're in quarantine right now, so the crowd doesn't matter, right? There's no crowd. Um, Interesting seeing the layout of it. I mean, it really felt like it was almost like a challenge match or something, in the wrestling room.
Yeah,
Um, but they were great matches. I mean, all of them were stellar matches, and they put together a pretty good card. So it was exciting to watch.
what do you think? They did really well.
Um, so, like flow, you mean?
Yeah, just like with the event in general.
They so they're mirroring MMA in a really like good way. You can already tell like they're doing certain things. They're trying to like build the next one up, and the wrestlers did a great job of calling out future opponents. So
Yeah,
they're kind of mirroring MMA because MMA is a great model if they want to do this card system. Uh, I think they did a good job of setting up like hyping up before, covering during, and then hyping up the you know going over the match, but then also hyping up the future cards, and um, that's what we need if we're going to have any type of professional wrestling league is consistent hype and consistent content of these things going on.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I think they did a really good job with the marketing, and just like making a ton of promo videos for the event and going to visit these guys wherever they live and filming all that stuff. I think that was pretty cool. But
Yeah,
what do you
absolutely.
think could be improved, just like overall from watching the event?
I mean, their stream went down at one point. uh,
That's true.
the what drives me crazy is like we're not they're just streaming, and I get they have to take breaks and stuff, but like when it goes to the flow symbol, and it's just like we're in a commercial break, we'll be right back, and you'll watch two commercials, but then you're at the F that's just doing the graphic for like a really long time. Some
Hmm.
of it was the technical difficulties that they faced with like the stream, but other times I was like, I've been watching this F for a while. Thank God I had the UFC fights on right next to it, so I could
Yeah, me too.
just tune in over there. But
I was like, why don't they play some of the promo videos like during that downtime? I don't know.
I mean, I think they played a couple, but I know what you mean. Like the when it was just nothing going on.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
there were some long waits, but
yeah,
um,
no kidding.
was yeah. Yeah, I watched it with two of my friends. One of them like they both love UFC, so they had the fights on. We had a TV like right above our wrestling TV, but one of my friends knows like nothing about wrestling. Another one wrestled for like 3.5 years in high school, and then he got injured. But he knew who Dake was and Taylor, but he kind of knew who Chimiza was. He thought his name was Chorizo, but he was actually like pretty into that match. Um, I guess like if you weren't a wrestling fan, how do you like what would you think of the event, or what do you think Flow can do to get non wrestling fans more into these events? I know these are tough questions.
No, it's good though. They're good questions. Um, so the first thing I think as much as I watched Dake and Chamizo, and I was like so into it. That was one of the most fun matches for me to watch ever because it was like Chamizo's wrestling style is what I wish I could wrestle like. I feel like my wrestling style is like such a doled down, less skilled version of that. And then Dake is like this technical wizard, and his defense is so good, and his chest wrap is, on another level. His gut on top is on another level. So that one was so fun to watch. You saw we're going to go over the matches in a second, but that match as a main event, as a wrestler and a wrestling fan, amazing. As a non-wrestling fan, it was like, oh, there's not a lot happening. There's not a lot going on. And so when you're not as invested in Dake might beat Chamizo, Chamizo might beat Dake, like when you're invested in that, then it's like, oh my goodness, every moment's, you're super into it. But if you're not a wrestling fan, it's like, oh, there's not a lot of action, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would say it's a main event that there's a ton of offense in. I think Sad Julayev and David Taylor would be perfect for that, right? Yeah. So that main event would sell to non-wrestlers as like, this is an offensive match. There's a lot happening. But it's hard to sell to non-wrestlers, man, because if you don't understand it, you don't know what you're watching.
Yeah. No, and that's true because like just to build this, you gotta like get wrestlers to get into it first. But I guess I was just thinking that because like I was watching it with two non-wrestlers, and I'm like, oh, I hope these guys don't think this is stupid. I hope they think it's cool, But yeah. So for the first match, we had Vito versus Sammy. I guess like, were you surprised by how that match went at all?
No, Vito's good. Vito's real good. I think he's going to be interesting to watch next year in folk style. At Wrestling for Cornell. I think I don't know if he's a threat to win it yet, but he's definitely going to do some damage. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. That match was Vito teching Sammy 16-5, by the way. But yeah, I agree. Vito is a beast. I feel like we always see him do tons of like crazy tricks in freestyle, and I don't know. I'm excited to see how he does in folk style. But Alvarez did have a nice 4. I mean, that was highlight for him.
That was sweet. And he had great shoes on. I mean, they were really cool.
Nice. We're not sponsored, but I mean, if they want to, hit me up. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. That was a good match. Alvarez is just like one of those tough wrestlers that keeps really good position, but it was fun to see Vito kind of throw him around.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next match at 137 pounds, RBY versus Jack Miller. RBY wins 8-1. What did you think going into that match? Like, did you have anyone in your mind that you thought would win?
I mean, I was rooting for RBY.
Penn State bias.
Yeah, I think going in, I was like, well, I also saw him a couple of days before the match. But so yeah, really, NLWC bias. But I thought that RBY was going to win, but I didn't know he was going to just absolutely smoke him, And I think that so David said it a bit in his post interviews, like RBY doesn't even know how good he is yet. He's got a superpower he's still discovering. And I think that's really true. I think that his ceiling's really, really high, and he's just getting into how good he could be. I really wish I could have seen him wrestle. We all could have seen him wrestle at NCAAs this year. I think that, honestly, I think that he could have won the tournament. And that's probably not a lot of people's picks with that bracket and how crazy that bracket was. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if he had won it this past year.
No, I wouldn't be either. I don't think you can even say RBY won the tournament and be surprised just because we've seen him wrestle all the top guys and beat a lot of them. I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah. His shuck by in this match,
Next
whoa,
level.
next level. His athleticism is crazy. His movements incredible, fluid, quick, and he's also got really like he doesn't seem like he has really good fast twitch. I mean, like he does, but he's not. You don't look at him as like a big strong guy, but he's got really good fast twitch muscle, and he can pretty much throw you around and move around you really, really well. So it's kind of like his technique and his wrestling's really, really good, but also his power and his explosiveness and quickness is really high level.
Yeah. And like he does hit a lot of flashy stuff, which is cool, but he also takes advantage of all the just like go behinds and little things like that, which really separates the score.
How about him putting his hands behind his back?
Yeah,
Some
dude, that was awesome.
yeah, some Conor McGregor stuff.
Yeah. My friends, my non-wrestling friends were into that.
That's how you beat DeSanto too. It's you just go like this. You just put one arm behind your back, and he can't fireman's carry you. You just know what to do.
That's true.
Oh
Who
man,
would, dude, that would be awesome if they got DeSanto versus RBY on one of these.
all of Iowa would buy the pay per view,
Oh,
or it's not even
100%.
a pay per view, is it? But yeah, they
Yeah,
would all tune in.
buy a full subscription. But the next match at 149 pounds, Luke Pletcher over Darian Caldwell, 9-2. What did you think? So Darian Caldwell's a Bellator guy now. He wrestled a while back and was an NCAA champ for NC State. I
And
guess
then
like were you
Bellator champ.
Bellator? Is he the current Bellator champ, or was that a
No, he
while
lost the
back?
title,
Okay,
but he
but
was also like so he was a 149 champ because he beat Metcalf, right?
mhm.
And so then he was a 135 champ in fighting in Bellator. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think he's at making 35 anymore, but that's a crazy cut.
that is a crazy cut. Were you? I guess like how excited were you to see him just wrestle again?
Oh, dude, I was so excited because his wrestling style is so crazy. You know, he's hitting headlocks, spladles. Like he has like the most spladles. I don't want to say he's got the most spladles in NCAA history, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's got a lot. And he was hitting them against like the best guys, you know. Um, so yeah, I was really excited to see him wrestle. What I was saying going into that match was that I don't know how his freestyle is because he's only wrestled folk style. He had a
Hmm.
very short freestyle career. And then Pletcher's kind of built for freestyle. You know, he's kind of a more neutral wrestler. The short, stocky guys usually do better in freestyle. And so scrambling's not really going to favor Caldwell in this match because A, Pletcher's short and stocky, hard to scramble. And B, it's a freestyle match, so scrambling's totally different. So, yeah, I was going in thinking like this is kind of Fletcher's to lose, just because Caldwell's hasn't wrestled straight wrestling in a while. He's been training wrestling to jujitsu, so all the transitions are a little bit different. And so I was interested to see it, but I thought it was Fletcher's to lose going in.
Yeah, yeah, and Pletcher pretty much dominated. Who would you like to see Pletcher wrestle in the future if they had him on another card?
Hmm, that's a good question. I would like to see him and Lugo. That'd be good. That'd be a good
Dude,
match. It's so defensive though.
no one from Penn State?
um, yeah, I mean, like you want to put
Nick
him
Lee?
against you want Nick Lee. You put him against Zane. See what happens.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, Nick Lee would be a good match for
yeah.
sure.
Or it would be cool to just like get more MMA guys that wrestled on these cards.
Dude, that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Um, I think it'd be interesting. Also, like I know they're doing freestyle rules, but it'd be great to throw in a couple folk style matches.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I would
100%.
I would be I'd be down for that because you know it's hard because these guys are training for the Olympics and the Worlds and stuff like that. But if you want to have an MMA carryover guy, like I would love to see Askren wrestle folk style. You know what I mean? Askren's kind of retired. I understand. But like that type of style, like Caldwell, I would love to see Caldwell wrestle folk style.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. And like with the Vito and Alvarez, like I think that would have been more fun to watch folk style. But yeah,
I agree. I also like folk style just a little bit more.
yeah. And the like, man, it's like David Taylor gets a tech. So David Taylor's the next match. He techs Miles Martin 11-0, and with that match, man, David Taylor's so good, but it's like you want it to go on a little bit longer, you know?
He's not letting it go like a second too long. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
shooting off the whistle every single time. As soon as he was like, "Oh, I can get to Miles' legs easy," he was like, "Boom, in there," and then starting the whistle right in there again, in there again. Um, his attacks are so good.
yeah, yeah. Who? I'm excited because DT called out Sedgelayev. That would be so cool, dude.
That would be insane. That'd be insane. I texted him today about it. I was like, that match needs to happen. I mean, that would get the entire world to be watching these flow cards,
Yeah,
which would be good for flow
yeah,
and good for the wrestlers and but that match would be insane. I mean, they would have to do it at catch weight. Sadulayev has been, before he moved up, he was down at that weight, so I don't know if he'd struggle a ton making a catch weight, And David wrestles with Snyder in practice all the time, so the weight won't affect David as much as people might think. And dude, David's when I was talking about scrambling earlier and the difference between freestyle and folk style scrambling, someone who's got freestyle scrambling figured out, maybe more than anybody ever, is David Taylor. He's
agreed.
really, really good at it. And the far ankle scrambles, you're in trouble. If you get in any type of position like that with David, you're in trouble. In on his leg, or he's in on your leg, and you're kind of stalemated, and you don't have him like extended. That's really the only thing that the only thing that I've seen stop him. And he's pretty good there too, because he goes from being extended to going into a front headlock. But if he's in on a leg or you're in on his leg, he's usually got you.
Yeah, yeah. There's not a lot of things that Miles Martin could have done to take him down. I mean, I don't know
No.
what I would do if I was wrestling him.
Yeah,
Dude,
I don't know either.
what if they had a like tournament with four guys: Kyle Snyder, David Taylor, Sedge Alive, and Jaden Cox. Now they'd have to have like a pool of like $1 million to get all these guys on there. But dude, how sick would that be? How many flow subscriptions would they sell if they had that?
All of them. Every wrestler would buy that card.
Dude,
The
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be insane. You'd have to get the right. I mean, you have to get everyone at the right weight because a full sized Snyder, Sadulayev, and Cox, that just hurts David.
Yeah,
Like that'd be insane. But that's just David's going up from. Dude, I mean, you're talking about a guy. He was at 74 kilos for a while. Now he's gone up all the way to 86. It's like he's great. He fits the weight. He wrestles amazing there. Obviously, world champ. No one's better than him. I don't think anyone's going to test him this next Olympic cycle. I'm a little biased, but I think that's just true. But like, if you were going to put that four card together, you need a good catch weight for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. That would be awesome. And then the main event of the night at 79 kilograms, Kyle Dake over Frank Chamizo 4-3.
Oh my God, how fun was that one?
Dude, that one, like, I was kind of disappointed in the first four. They were good, but, like, And then this one, I was like, okay, this was sweet. This was crazy.
Yeah, the part the scramble where Dake had Chimizo's leg up, and
Yeah.
Chimizo was using his feet to like kick out Dake's feet. I was like, that is crazy. He was so comfortable in every position and so like nonchalant. The other thing is he's a gamer, and I think that one thing he didn't anticipate was that gut on top from Dake, because he
Yeah.
just kind of relaxed and then Dake just kind of slowly took him, and I don't want to say he relaxed, but I think he did. I think he relaxed a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what do you so like a lot of people so Dake kind of Chamizo had the lead like 3-2 and then Dake gets that gut at the end and wins 4-3, but like Chamizo's turning it on in the last minute and almost takes Dake down like I think one or two times at the end. But do
Hmm.
you think Chamizo should have like turned it on earlier or do you think that's just like the tactic he lives and dies by?
Oh, it's definitely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. And it's that Jack. He does live and die by that late attack, quick finish, and it works really well for him. Ben said that he's like he turned it on just at the right time. You know, he did it perfectly. I don't know. I mean, that's the move. That's what he's trying to do is get that last second takedown. But yeah, it would be nice to see him, have a little bit more of a buffer. But then if you look at the position they end up in, it really wouldn't have mattered because Dake had that chest wrap, and it's like he's not getting through the best chest wrap in the game. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he's beaten a lot of good guys with like those late attacks. And I heard like an interview of his coach. Like, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's like Valentin
Valentine?
Kalika or something.
Yeah,
But
I
he's
think I just call him Valentine.
Valentin. Let's leave it at that. But he's like, man, if I was going up against Frankie, oh, there's nothing I could do. But then he was also like, yeah, Frankie, he likes to live his life, you know. He likes to go out and do that kind of stuff. But he's Frankie, you know. And so maybe he doesn't have the conditioning for those final minutes, so he just turns it on at the end and squeaks him out. Who knows?
Dude, he's like the partier of wrestling because I don't feel like any other wrestlers are like that. But well, at the high level, yeah, I don't see any other wrestlers that are like that. But like, nah, maybe Downey. But yeah,
Chamizo's a level above Downey, though.
oh yeah, yeah. Um, way, way, way above. But Chamizo's like he's so relaxed and kind of like casual about it. It's weird. I don't even know if he'd be better if he like was constantly structured. Um, more of like a Snyder style. I don't think that would even do him any justice. I think his fluidity and he sets
Yeah,
traps. That's what Dake was saying is he sets traps and like I think that's the best style for him.
yeah. No, I agree. Where do you think these two guys, Dake and Chamizo, stand with Burrows?
Ooh, you know, going in, I was like, man, Dake is going to be really hard to beat. Um, it's going to be really hard for Burrows to beat this time.
Yeah,
So I think two things. I think you can't bet against JB. You can't. He's too good. He's too consistent. He's done it too many times, right? So you can't bet against Burrows. But if Burrows wins, he is the goat. He's the greatest of all time. Like I I think he surpasses John Smith and he's the universal goat.
yeah. No, I agree. Did you, so, did you think Jordan Burroughs was going to win before this? Or were you like kind of indifferent?
Oh, between him and Dake,
Yeah,
honestly, I was thinking, oh, you can't bet against JB, but at the same time, I was like, that is gonna be it's gonna be so hard to beat Dake. His defense is so good, and he's just evolved and gotten better. Um, that was one in my head that I couldn't even pick a winner. I mean, honestly, I would say you can't bet against JB, so I'd pick JB, but like you can't pick a winner in that match. It's so close, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
do your opinions change at all though? Like after seeing how close the match was with Dake and Chamizo?
After that, yeah, but also, yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think that it's going to be Dake isn't as dominant at 74 kilos as I maybe at first thought he was going to be, right? But at the same time, they're all like in this, you know, rock paper scissors. One's better than the other. um, but also they're all like pretty much at the same level, are very, very close to each other. You know, they're all just like at the top of the heap, and it's like one move is going to be the difference between the two. So, yeah, I don't know if it changed my mind, but it made me more excited to see Burrows and Take. I'll tell you that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Um, yeah, man, I'm excited for so many matches. I guess my last question is, what wrestlers would you like to see at the future Flow events? Like, if you could create any matchups, who would you pick?
Ooh, well, I want to see David and Sadulayev. I would like to see Dake and Sidakov.
That would be good, yeah.
Those were the two that they called out, and I thought that was good. That was
It
smart on their part.
sounds it sounds like those two might happen. Like both of Sidakov and Sedgelive responded and were like, sure.
Really,
Yeah, on Twitter and Instagram, I think.
that's
So,
awesome. Let's go.
dude, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
I would like to see. So it's tough with the some of the matches that we're gonna get USA to USA. We're gonna get those at the U.S. Open. We're gonna get those other places. So I almost don't know if I want to waste those on when we could get like an international match. So I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I definitely want to see Jaden wrestle in one of these cards. Um, he's always fun to watch wrestle. Like I said, I want to see, David and Dake go against the Russians, and then, man, I don't know. What do you think?
Um, I guess like I see where you're coming from with like we'll see most of the US matches coming up eventually, hopefully.
Hmm.
But man, I don't know. I'm still like stuck on there were so many good NCAA rivalries this season that I'd like to see finished out. I think like if you put RBY against anyone, it's going to be an interesting match. I kind of want to see him get tested by like the top level senior guys in freestyle. I think that those would be interesting.
I got a good one. RBY and Spencer Lee at a catchweight.
Dude, I don't even know what would happen. Like I can't even begin to think about it.
That would be like that would be the funnest match to watch, though, right?
Like folk style or freestyle, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. I got another good one. Bo Nickel versus Alex Daringer.
Dude, I don't even
that's
know.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Um, and then maybe like let's see, you put Mark Hall against somebody.
Dude, Mark Hall Kemmer. Like I would love to see
Yeah,
that again. He called him
yeah,
out on Twitter.
I'll see that again. Yeah, absolutely. What's
That was
another
sweet.
Iowa? I'll watch Vincenzo against Marinelli again,
Yeah. There's so many good ones.
dude. Okay, well let's throw Bryce Meredith into this. Who would Bryce wrestle? Caldwell in folk
Dude,
style.
that would be crazy. That is
Let's
something I
do
would love
it.
to see.
Yes, Bryce Meredith, Darian Caldwell, folk style. Chokes allowed.
Dude, let's throw Henry Cejudo in there against Spencer Lee.
Oh my God, that would be great.
That would be
Would they
awesome.
would they be the same weight? So Henry's 135, Spencer Lee. What about like Cejudo RBY?
I don't. So like I've never really
Dude,
seen
Henry's not
Cejudo
retired.
wrestle.
He'll come wrestle.
Yeah. Have you seen any of his matches?
Cejudo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good on his feet. He's strong outside single, strong high crotch. Russell's like an Iowa guy, but really offensive and really quick on his feet and his stance, and
Dude,
strong as hell.
he could just I just love hearing his like cringy ass like social media posts. They're so funny and so terrible.
They're
But
so they I went from like at the very beginning, I was like, what is he doing? And then it was like this very like all of a sudden I was like, I love this. I could watch this all day. I think it was when he called out Jose Aldo and he's like, your movie sucks, and he dove into the pool. Have you seen that one?
I have not, but that just sounds like his posts I've seen.
Sounds like him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
Well,
funny guy.
let's see if What are other great MMA wrestlers?
Okay, in 2 years from
Bring
now,
back.
when Askren's fine, who do we want to see Askren wrestle?
um, yeah, geez, I'd watch him wrestle anybody. Remember, he was the main event in like when they tried to do, I think it was Agon is what it was called.
Hmm.
He was the main event when they did like a pro wrestling thing, right? And he promoted it and all that stuff. And Quentin Wright had just won NCAA's at 197. Ben hasn't wrestled folk style in a while, and he texts Quentin Wright. Like
He tech Quentin, right?
he teched him, and Ben was a 174 in college, and Quentin
Wow.
just won the 197 national championship. Yeah, it was fun.
Damn.
It was
That's
a while
crazy.
ago, but yeah,
Dude, I
craziness,
would
right?
love to see him wrestle.
Let's see. So Ben is 170. He's Burrow's weight. Dude, how good would Chumizo and Ben be?
I
Ben would need
mean,
a
I don't
full
know.
training camp and he'd have to
Yeah.
adjust to freestyle, right? I want to
I
see
feel
Ben
like,
wrestle folk style.
yeah, that's true. But I think
Yeah.
I was just like thinking about the Burrows Askren match, but I think Ben would match up a lot better with Chimizo.
Oh yeah, because there's not you can't scramble out of a double leg.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
tech. That's what I want to see. Just so it goes on for like 6 minutes.
No out of bounds. They're
No out of bounds. Dude, there was no out of bounds for the last JB match. You kind of got it on film. JB
Yeah.
took him off the stage.
Oh yeah, that was great. You just hit me with the thumbs up at the perfect time. It was awesome.
It's a legendary clip.
That's my favorite one. Um,
Dude,
so let's think. Well, I don't know. Who else are you thinking? Somebody
well,
you could see wrestle.
I have one question. Have you ever wrestled with Ben?
Yeah, he's really good.
Like, what is it like?
Like he's never gone like full go on me because there really wouldn't be a point. Like there wouldn't. He's also everyone will say this like he's stronger. You know, he's stronger than he looks by a lot. Like by a lot. Like he's really really strong and his technique is perfect and it's fluid, right? And he just seems like he's just always moving around you. I haven't wrestled with him a bunch, right? It'd be like very very short go, but yeah, no, he's very very good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all I could say. From someone who's watched him a bunch too, his jujitsu is just as fluid and just as crisp.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so he's fun to watch.
Man, that's crazy because that's like a whole nother skill, pretty much. He's like mastery level in so many different things. It's crazy.
Yeah, the reactions are different because people are trying to turn to their back. You know, wrestling they're
Mm.
trying to stay on their base, and jujitsu they're trying to turn to their back because they don't want you to have their back, right? So it's like it's hard to like catch people and keep them, you know, stay on their back. So I don't even know. Like he's a master of both.
Yeah. Any other matchups you had on your mind?
No, I'm sticking by Bryce Meredith, Darren Caldwell in folk style. That what I would love to see. Um, who do we say? Bo Nickel against who do we say?
Dude, you can't put me on the spot like that.
Oh no, who do we say?
We're gonna have to
We'll
go
run it
listen to this.
back. We'll
The
figure it out
people
later.
listening to this are like, these guys are idiots, but that's okay.
Yeah,
They
it's all right.
remember, you
Yeah,
know.
they know. They know who we're talking about.
Good stuff. Well, is there anything else? Any pieces of advice or anything else you want to leave us with?
No, this was fun. Let's do it again.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. So I told John he could be on the podcast. You know, really whenever he's free. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on, but hopefully we can sprinkle some of these in a couple times a year, every other
Yeah.
month, whenever you're free.
Yeah, let's do it.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed the switch from an interview to more of an entertainment recap podcast. Don't worry though, I'll be doing a ton more interviews. That'll still be the main format of this show. But anyways, if you got any feedback for me or you have any requests for guests or anything like that, just leave me a DM on the Mad Awareness Instagram or Twitter. Also, if you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, if you could leave a rating or review, I would greatly appreciate it. It helps the show up, like when people type in like wrestling podcasts or are looking for a wrestling podcast. With all that being said, have a great rest of your week, guys.